afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane. We're off here to an exciting 2 vs 2. Yes, indeed, a 2 vs 2. They're not part of the challenge. Apparently, no one even bothered sending in, so, well, let's drop that anyways. But a 2 vs 2 right here on the road to CoH2. We shall be watching Siberian and VonIvan fighting for Germany, for the Reich, for the 3rd SS Panzerdivision Totenkopf rolling ahead here. Intent on clearing a path through Russian lines and beyond, somewhere outside, well, Budapest. Opposing them shall be Fahu, well then probably not the 3rd SS actually. Oh well, too late for that. But Fahu here fighting alongside Dolph, fighting for the Soviet Union and the glory of Comrade Stalin, fighting here for the 10th Tank Corps. No, we said they'll be fighting for the 23rd Panzer Division, yes. Anyways, Kubang here, double start on that. Hardly anything unusual to see. Kubang has been very popular even after that slight nerf it got. Opening up there very aggressively, noting about here dual special rifle command side here from the Russians to get scout cars to probably deal with the Kubagens. In that regard, a pretty common meta game sort of assault. Command, as we note here, by the way, already chosen here by our German friends, Luftwaffe and Breakthrough, and ooh, good lord, Soviet Combined Arms Army, that's rare to see, but fun, and overall the only one lacking here is Fahu, who needs to use advanced warfare, shock rifle, or mechanized support, so bit of an emphasis and a bit on this and that, but should be interesting nonetheless. And we're noting here, by the looks of it, 3 Kubelwagens, definitely charging ahead here, with a lot of those tiny little wagons. But in response we do see 2 M3A1s, Stravny following up here for Fahu, concentrated more for Dolph. They're otherwise a bit pinned down at the moment with the 2 scout carriers in particular, since at least Fahu's managed to pop someone into it, should be able to strike down the fascists. There we go, driving in, striking down once, scout, Kubang, there we go. Wrecked in seconds, to 50 cal, make short work there. At the same time over here, Sturmpanier is forced away. Might strike up against the other Kubelwagen. Sturmpanier's moving as well. Conscripts moving out there, finally out of the building. Go, a few more shots. We're close to getting knocked out the Kubelwagen, ready to fire back, but not all that easy, not all that easy. We've still got the Conscripts fighting in north. The truck here also a bit of trouble at the same time here. M3A1 breaks through, and there goes second Kubelwagen down. All of a sudden, the Russians, while might initially push back, are doing a lot of economic damage here to the Germans, knocking out 3 Kubelwagens in a row, also doing quite a bit of infantry damage then. That is quite a bit of manpower. All of a sudden, they're vanishing. A lot of vehicles, a lot of equipment wrecked here already for the 23rd Panzerdivision. Points are being secured. Sturmpanier is so close to getting murdered on retreat as well. And there we go, Sturmpanier scored tot. Heavy losses right there for the Germans. A bold start, rather heavily reversed due to, well, nice big fat vulnerability here to the scout cars, and also being a bit of a predictable move from them here. Which of course the Russians make the predictable counter move. Their real only options here, the Sturmpaniers, are really dealing with the scout cars, and those will be limited. They'll be probably waiting for some Raketenwerfers to try and turn this around, but at the same time they're losing up terrain. The truck is, by the way, still around. Looks like the building collapsed with all the poor conscripts in it. But there's a chance here that VonIvan might lose his schwerer Wehrmachtschlepper there in the process. Heavy fighting here for the territory. The Russians managed to turn the table here a bit heavily. In fact, they managed to throw over the table and crush the Germans beneath it a bit. A second scout car here, by the way, for Dilophosaurus. Definitely going all in there with the scout cars. Charging in with the truck here, but I fear VonIvan here might lose his truck. A waste of German army property and equipment. It could be used for other things. MD-34 running for Siberian. MG-34. Could see another unit here maybe getting whacked down, or at least wiped out and taken down. But might not. Well, looks like it will happen. They've definitely underestimated here the Soviet scout car play initially, and the bashing they're receiving is definitely quite thorough. But there you go, flat emplacement saves the day here, at least saves Dietrich from utter annihilation, popping over here to the Dilophosaurus afterwards. With these 2 scout cars. Others being repaired here, the Germans continue pushing forwards. And they managed to gain the few points there, that is good for them. Victory point as well. A last desperate stand here, the sort of furthest protrusion of German efforts here. VonIvan's Volksgrenadiers are holding the line. No sign of his Sturm officer, which may have been able to help his troops there. A bit unfortunate. A Kenner officer might help a bit with all those scout cars. There you go, the Volksgrenadiers are in a lot of trouble. 2 scout cars bringing in their flamethrowers as well. And they're going to squad wiped out. The German losses are piling up. But there we go, got a Kenner ready to set up and they maybe stop the Russians. There we go, 1 scout car down. 1 scout car kaput. MD-34 is covering anything. Troops advancing.
The enemy is encroaching on our territory.
Some very sort of aggressive and, well, heavy swings and tides initially. First Germans, then the Russians sort of pushing back the Germans pretty heavily. And there we go, we got Panzerfusse arriving, so it looks like no Sturm officer there for VonIvan. I do think that was a bit of a miss, but there you go. And we've got Guards here running for Dilophosaurus. Guards infantry. He might want to consider upgrading with some DPs. Prefer and increase the fire. We'll also note here that Fahu's got some, and he's in fact getting DPs. He's also got some grenades going in the way of the fascists. There you go, getting caught out over here by the Panzer Fusiliers. Quite a bit of heavy shooting there going towards them, pulling back. And there we go, Veteran G2 on the scout car. Looks like, in fact, Fahu's scout car has also managed to gain Veteran G2.
Guard rifle infantry squads can now be called to fight for the motherland.
But by now it is looking like the Germans are maybe stabilising the situation a bit. They are causing a bit more damage there. They got something a bit more heavy and they managed to replace those heavy losses initially suffered by the Kubelwagens. Now they got MD-34s to hold back the Bolsheviks. And there you go, DPs for the Dilophosaurus, Guards infantry as well. Bit unclear. I mean, both Dilophosaurus and Fahu are pushing aggressive towards their sides, whereas the Germans having a bit less luck there. They're both spreading out a bit instead of maybe trying to focus on one side initially, which is maybe making it easier for the rest to sort of find leaks and, well, weakness gaps in the defense to sort of break through and sort of quickly do a bit of extra damage and force away the Germans. And right now we see, for example, the Panzerfusse being surrendered by Guards infantry, conscripts and Stravniki. Bit of a nasty situation right there. And the DPs are definitely taking the toll down the Panzerfusiliers. And there we go, with them on the retreat, the scout cars quick to strike again. Might see a Panzerfusilier there wiped out for VonIvan. Not good there, not good there. At the same time, what he's doing, he's actually charging straight into the base, wiping out another squad. But, oh, there we go. Flat emplacement firing, and dead, and looks like, ooh, gets the combat engineers as well. Dilophosaurus might have extended his reach right there, and looks like he's about to lose the south now. Looks like Siberian is getting a better traction on things. Better grasp. Less heavy and debilitating losses. With a sniper now on the way here for Fahu. Interesting, interesting. Of course, certainly further increase the attrition here versus the German players. And meanwhile, on the right flank, another minor push there, minor push to the centre as well. We've got one truck up so far, Battle Group Headquarters here for VonIvan, but nothing from Siberian yet. And he's the one who didn't lose his truck, so it might be a bit wearing. There he goes a bit, adding in some fudge teaming with some more elite infantry, which might put a bit more fear into things here. But a satchel charge as well, blowing apart a small house there. No one in it, except maybe some guy named Boris. The forces being held up there. Fahu doing quite a bit of damage, but he's having trouble holding on to the fuel pond. I mean, VonIvan, for all things worth it. I mean, he's really managed to cut off the Russians from the fuel put up north region as well, but he's also taking heavy casualties in the process. He's not necessarily doing the same amount of damage back to the Russians. So there's a bit of a problem there. Probably going to go to VonIvan. Very low in infantry, very low in units in general. Not exactly looking good. He needs more troops out on the field, more panzer officers, and maybe a Sturm officer to at least that way boost the combat prowess of what he actually has on the field. I think that might do him. Right, there go, quick. Back and chasing grenade. He was actually maybe hoping to retreat into it, but that doesn't seem to be the case right there. Either way, already they're close to veterancy too. And that's definitely going to make things more painful. And there we go. Siberian also setting up a battle group headquarters, interestingly enough. I'm going to turn and say make a mechanized regiment and a flak half tank or a Puma. As all of this is happening, we're seeing the Russians are going here for Tango 10 command here for Dolph. No sign of taking up further here by Fahu. Northern victory point going down. VonIvan seems to be saving up for something, and there we go. He might have been saving up for this and maybe getting some Obersoldaten, which of course could increase the pressure upon the Russian infantry, might even up things a bit better, but it's definitely going to be a bit painful, in particular with snipers and more guards infantry around, in particular with the DPs, and in particular these gentlemen as they get more and more veteranry. They will definitely present a bigger and bigger threat to enemy infantry that might attack. But nice to see actually combined arms being used for once. Well, there we go, we got a strong point up here for the Germans at the front line, something that might be harder to push them off. Of course, it might also mean they might hold up and blow up, and of course that might also mean that, oh hey, that combined arms with a howitzer might suddenly become a lot more, you know, useful and potent. So there's a little thing there to consider, maybe if the Germans bunch about too much. Then we got Sandbags. Well, they're really digging in now. We also got VonIvan setting up Schwere Panzer Corps to support this. This is definitely where they intend to fight from, no matter the cost. Which can be a strong point, but of course also a weak point if again it comes under sufficient artillery fire. Fuel cache up here for the Russians. In fact, we've seen 3 fuel caches up here. Fahu Dolph setting up each a couple of there to sort of further increase armor play, and I imagine there might also be something for doctrinal play there from Fahu, since he's gone for mechanized support. Actually, he needs the ISU 152, but at least there's a bit of a mix of this, and not both of them are playing for it. And there go, quick grenade. Didn't do much there. He's probably going to need the howitzer. And there we go. We do see Obersoldaten on the way here to turn things around for VonIvan. Meanwhile, Siberians, Volksgest and Fallschirmjäger doing what they can as well, but they are definitely taking the very slow approach here, trying to deal with units dug in and with a building behind them. It's going to be a very slow approach and not necessarily the best one, even fighting near the battle group headquarters, so might be something to be careful about. Then it also makes easy target here for the guards. Oh, no, mine grenade went off there. DP was dropped. Yuri, why did you drop it while you died? That's just sad. There you go, Obersoldaten almost done. Another truck moving up.
Steady yourself. New rifle unit ready.
And looks like Fahu went for a support him company, adding some Maxims. He could also consider getting a field gun then. Either way, Siberian's assault there rather ended in, well, a lot of suppression and pain. Sandbag positions are going up sort of further to strengthen the Soviet defenses. Good job there. A lot of Soviet players do tend to neglect sandbag fighting positions when it comes to helping terrain. So good to see Fahu there making good use of it. Maybe Dilophosaurus, either way. Good use. Oh, nice bun grenade there, wiping out the companies right there, caught between the fence and the house. Nicely done there. Nicely done. Mines also covering the road there. Bit more pressure up the left flank. The right flank all of a sudden is not seeing a lot of action now. They're really sort of basically pulling all the resources together, but that's partly because VonIvan's probably got the least troops sort of really do much with, so he can't really allow himself to sort of push aggressively ahead. Tanks are arriving for Dilophosaurus, so it's definitely gaining the armor advantage there. Obersoldaten advancing up the right flank for Germany. Big anti-tank revive grenade versus the front of the T-34. Obviously not very successful. And another Volksgest squad down there. The losses keep piling up for VonIvan.
Supply half track is in action. Standing by for setting of command post.
And there you go, getting a second one. He needs more infantry. I want to move up the orbital line a bit better. For some reason, they're definitely not engaging very optimally here for dealing with the Guards infantry. There you go, rest of the unit moves up, but we do see a counter response here. Scout car moving in, we still got the conscripts as well hanging back. Field officers preparing for another sort. There we go, popping out to Siberian, who's definitely got a lot more sort of standing about and breathing. Also got this one. He could consider maybe trading for resources there, shifting off a fuel transfer. And also noting VonIvan could in fact soon get a Panther, which would turn Barton with a bit of punch, or maybe he goes for a Panther, then Siberian goes for a Storm Tiger, or vice versa. The T-34 taking a nice hit there from Raketenwerfer. Two Raketenwerfers versus the T-34. That could end up badly here for the Dolph's T-34. But looks like the Fudge is not able to Panther Faust, and looks like the T-34 is able to escape here, albeit very, very by a close shave.
Ready to deploy.
A third orbital Dardan squad here. Really, VonIvan is going all in, it would seem, with those orbital Dardan, in the hopes of overcoming the communist threat. More mines up here. Siberian sort of further gunning towards an assault. Victory point wise, they are a bit behind there. More mines up for the Russians. They're definitely both sides sort of preparing for other sides sort of push forwards. And looks like here an expected assault on the right flank, but at the same time it looks like VonIvan is getting ready to strike up the centre while maybe Siberian pushes up the left flank. That could work, that could work. But there's a surprising lack of any kind of armour so far from the Germans, or anything heavier than infantry. Not even say an infantry gun has arrived to provide at least a bit of artillery support. Scratch that, Siberian is now getting a Stuka zu Fuss. And he's in fact now trading for fuel. That could work. That could certainly help a bit. Mines on the flanks here. Good job there by Siberian. There we go, the orbitals now arriving, now quick to force back the Russian Strafniki. The assault on the left flank, though, by Dolph quickly encounters an awful lot of resistance and is quick to falter. But what is this? We've got a howitzer up here. And there you go, shoots and kills the medics. And a cart, no tractor, damn it. But nothing beyond that, it seems, so far. Force was getting burned alive, grenades going off. But now the pressure is definitely increasing upon the Germans themselves. I mean, you do have a Stuka zu Fuss, but the howitzer can definitely fire from a much safer position. Looks like VonIvan's having some success on the right flank, but part of the assault is already bogging down, but thanks to the Maxim. And snipers and scout cars are making short work of the orbital Dardan here. Oh, he's mowing down. Oh, no. Ah! He got the snipers. We might lose the orbital line in the return, and I'm not entirely sure that would be worth it. The orbital Dardan are a bit more expensive. Oh, he lost it, and he lost the MU-34. And he might lose the other orbital Dardan as well. In fact, the conscripts could get an MU-34. No. Dear, VonIvan really needs something to cover them, some support. Instead, he just lost two orbitals Dardan. Yeah, I mean, I suppose the middle thing there was, in short, he didn't hand over MU-34 to the Russians. That would definitely have been very bad news. More tanks are arriving here for Dilophosaurus. More tankers. Kein Panzers. Just a Stuka zu Fuss here. Another orbital Dardan might consider getting out of there before it gets wiped out. It looks like here a Panzer facility crude field gun is doing something for the Germans. That's always nice. Orbital on there close to getting mowed down, and we got the Dilophosaurus got to be close to Veterans 3. And another barrage going here, striking down upon Siberian's battle group headquarters. Threatening to turn this into a kill zone any moment now. bad news, bad news. There we go. Pretty brutal strike right there on the MU-34 and the Fultz Grenadiers. Right flanking again, very little action. There's a deep lack of a support assets and any sort of coordination to a certain extent. Ooh, looks like these Fultz going to be able to secure DP. Quick grenade there from the Guards Infantry. Heavy fighting here for the center, MU-34s. And then Maxims coming from either side. Everything seems to sort of boil down to that one point. Mine's going up to cover the flanks there. And we seem to be setting up a Schwerer Panzer quarters of his own here to guard the western victory point. Also, the positioning, by the way, is nice. It's going to be difficult. Texas, I don't think can directly shoot at it, thanks to the building. It's going to set up some slightly awkward angles, which might give Siberian a bit of a chance of striking that. So that's great to see, but still no real sign of armor. In particular, VonIvan's floating a ton of fuel. I mean, you could have gotten a Panther, maybe even a Sturmtiger by now, which could definitely provide a lot of punch. And now we're seeing a third T-34, and we got an ISU-153 arriving for Fahu as well. It's actually time for the mid-game analysis. Current situation, though, is no matter what, the Germans are still actually pushing back the Russians. The victory points are definitely sort of more not quite in their favour, though they're definitely sort of having a bit more luck there. I mean, that's in part thanks to this sort of more advanced battle group headquarters, allowing them to sort of form a bit more defence there, but also this Schwerer Panzer headquarters covering here make it difficult for the Russians to push them off from here. And of course, I mean, also assets covering around here. So, I mean, things are definitely becoming more difficult for the Russians, who certainly dominated the second part of the early game, if you will. The right flank is surprisingly open, but so far the Germans seem to sort of point everything into just holding these 2 points, probably because they are facing a lot of resistance here. But again, the lack of armor and lack of any sort of heavier support assets besides a single Stukas of Hus is proving to be problematic. Of course, I mean, the way Siberian is playing, he might be trying to play for a King Tiger as he gets all 3 trucks, then he gets a King Tiger, and of course his opponent's got, or teammates gone breakthroughs, of course they might try for a King Tiger and a Jagd Tiger. I mean, in regard that could certainly work out into enough, but at the same time they're taking heavy losses in the process. I mean, VonIvan's losing Obersoldaten after Obersoldaten after Obersoldaten. I mean, he's taking crazy casualties. This is not really sort of something you can keep up doing in the fight, and so not if you also want to go for the Jagd Tiger. They need some kind of middle ground before that. One of them, I would think, needs to get some kind of tank before that. A Panther, and again, a Sturmtiger, I think, could do all right there. Blast away some positions, holding off the tanks before getting anything heavier. So that was definitely something he might want to consider. Part of me would also really like to see him get a Sturm officer to support things. Then again, he could also maybe consider using breakthrough tech to sort of quickly disconnect a lot of territory from his opponent. I mean, that's not exactly a bad ability. For the Russians, I mean, things are holding out alright. I mean, the infantry itself also taking a beating, in particular the ones fighting versus VonIvan's Obersoldaten, though they are themselves also giving them quite a good fight in return. It's not all bad there, in particular the more veteran infantry. And of course, I mean, they're building up quite the armoured asset as well. I mean, they got 3 T-34s and each ISU-152. They've also got artillery, so in that regard, they possess a lot more punch. And in that regard, you know, they can also do a lot more damage, in particular with the breakthrough of the first line. Particularly the weak western flank is actually currently extremely weak. I mean, sure, there are some mines, but they're not going to stop us actually a direct assault through the centre. There's no mines here. I mean, if that was to happen, that could actually throw the Germans off quite badly. And this is actually quite good tank territory, otherwise this is in fact very open ground. So that's definitely something they need to be wary of. And that's definitely something the Russians should consider, in particular if they could get the ISU-152 supporting it. That could also be used to just basically blasting away all the infantry, with not really much cause for concern, because again there's nothing else besides it. And it's also largely clustered into much small territory, and again if they keep the powers of basically blasting away at the same time, they can definitely cause a lot of attrition, a lot of casualties, and slowly wear down the Germans. But again, combine that with a good armoured assault from here, for example, for that matter here, I mean, their flanks are really weak. They could do a ton of damage to the Germans, maybe even force them away from here and back into their base, even before they get a King Tiger or a Jagd Tiger. So there are definitely a lot of things that the Germans need to consider, and definitely some more mines to consider there, and some anti-tank defences. Though, of course, I mean, if the Russians for some reason decide just to go head on and play a bit bad while doing that, of course, there's a chance the Germans might easily be able to pull through this. But if the Russians keep their heads about and just basically outmaneuver them, there's currently a very good chance of doing it, because once that happens, the Germans will have very little to actually react to this. And that's really sort of the major issue in terms of composition. There's a massive gap for sort of dealing with any kind of armoured flanking assault going on. They're prepared for head-on assault, but that's about it. Let's return to the fight here. We got the field gun here bombarding as well. T-34 soon, and once that ISU-132 arrives as well, things are going to get very, very painful. And there you go, Veterans in 3, 11 kills in the scout camp. Bloody impressive. Oh, Yuri. First shot and he misses. That's no good. And again! Where on earth did you learn to shoot? Well, yeah, now the pressure is definitely increasing upon the Germans, as the big guns are definitely arriving, and the armoured force as well is also increasing, building up here. And there we go. Third time the Charming gets 3 kills. Schwerpanzer, of course, here, they're operational. And you got the DP Guards Infantry just tank through the orbital garden as well. I mean, do not underestimate Guards Infantry, for that matter, once they hit Veterans 3. With DPs, they can definitely do a lot of damage. Kenrev, they're getting a few shots at. Sturkasavus firing in there with its rockets. Sie Wurfrahmen 40. But the breakthrough attempt here around Budapest is definitely failing. Getting bogged down and wrecked. And now the precision is getting blasted as well. We got the Howdy joining in as well. 10 kills, Veterans 1, good for them, less good for the Germans. Though, I mean, they did actually manage to sort of take away a lot of territory, but that's about to change, I imagine. Kenrevs are getting off a few good shots here. Wow, that just got shattered. And we got a breakthrough assault here. I mean, also obscuring the sort of lines of fire here for the Russians. In essence, allowing the Germans to get closer, but they don't really have anything to get closer with. Ja, mein Führer, the breakthrough assault has been made. We're just lacking the reserves to break through this. Ja, mein Führer, we are quite aware you are upset with this, but there's not really much we can do about it. Quick fallback there, by the way, nicely coordinated by Fahu and Dolph. There you go, nice hit there, and looks like finally something is arriving. A Yak Tiger. By the way, fun fact, Yak Tigers rarely saw action on the Eastern Front along another tank strike by which did that was the Yak Panther. They mostly saw both of them action on the Western Front. So, little fun fact there. Also another fun fact, the Tiger Ace autocarriers actually fought in the last few months of the war with Yak Tigers. For some reason. Though apparently they in fact equipped the entire Yak Tiger company with crews from Tigers. And strangely enough, they actually had a bit of trouble there adapting to the tank destroyers and previously fought in tanks. The ISU is definitely laying down some heavy fire there. The Yak Tiger might be able to turn things around there with its 12.8cm gun. The Pak-44, and yes indeed there was in fact an anti-tank gun like that with that kind of size. I mean, if you thought the Pak-43 was big, then the Pak-44 was even bigger. And just like any gun of this size, by the way, it actually had to sort of load the ground in 2 parts. First the shell, and then the, well, prime or whatever, the thing that make it go, well, boom. So, a little fun thing back there. And in fact, he's not used to tight booster versus infantry, of course, it's not very useful versus the infantry, which overall limits the Yak Tiger, in particular, consider how expensive it is. There you go, attempt to switch barrage forces away. Fahu's infantry over to the Dolph. 40-34, looks like there might be something inbound soon enough. Another barrage there from Dilophosaurus and his 152mm gun howitzer. Maxim cleared out. Victory points have been secured by the Panzerfusiliere. A bit of quiet here on the front line.
Forces are capturing our supplies. Enemy is engaging us. We have an isolated sector.
Breakthrough tactics being utilised. Good, good. Allows them to much quickly close a lot of ground, which is going to, of course, quickly take away a lot of territory from the Russians. Which certainly gives them a bit more to work with, and of course a bit more territory to give away off. Then you got the DP guard near versus 52 orbital Darden. Might be a bit more dangerous there. Jagdtiger doing absolutely nothing. Might as well have a try shooting at the infantry, maybe getting a few kills. It looks like the counter-attack's about to begin there. We got tanks moving up the right flank, and again, noting here that VonIvan's infantry is extremely exposed. He's got nothing to cover with it. Jagdtiger's in the centre, unable to cover the full well, the Panzerfusiliers and the orbital Darden here. And there we go. We got 4 T-34s there, looking ready to make a massive punch. And there we go. Second IC-152 arrives for Fahu as well. There you go, Jagdtiger shots and gets off a good shot there on the T-34-76. Out of firing again. Looks like he's bombarding the Jagdtiger actually. Over to hit it. A second howitzer. And there you go, King Tiger dazed. IC-152's moving in to knock that out. Sparrow boy. The beast killer looking to slay the beast. There you go, the crew getting dazed again. We even got Mark vehicle on it there, take no chances. T-34's rolling in as well. We've got aircraft flying them up. We've got the Schwerer Panzer headquarters. Right, sorry about that. Might have forgotten to clear out some space. Looks like bombing strikes going in as well. Everything's alive here as the assault commences. Howitzer number 2 ready to fire. T-34 with engine damage. Jagdtiger though still trying to get away. Stukas Fuß as well. ISU's moving ahead. Lumbering forwards though still with focus sight. Sure, they'll definitely not be doing it fast. T-34's out flanking. Having trouble there with the thick frontal armour. Schwerer Panzer headquarters firing as well. There we go. Penetrating shot there on the rear. And almost down, almost down. Utter carnage, and there we go, the Jagdtiger is down. Jagdtiger is kaput. Without ultimately doing too much. Whereas the IC-152s are raking up the kills. So the T-34s here. Though they look like they might be knocked out here. Except the infantry doing it at forced way. And what is this? A King Tiger arrives, the Königstiger. Down to 1 T-34 though for Dilophosaurus, but still they've done a lot of damage. The German defenders have been forced away, or German attackers, with heavy casualties. Now King Tiger's moving on his own. The Schwerer Panzer headquarters are both wrecked. And the King Tigers evades the wreckage of the Jagdtiger before moving on its own. Artillery firing as well here. King Tiger needs to move forward to pull back. It certainly cannot afford to stand around there for much longer. Not long till it gets spotted and then gets fired at. Looks like he makes a head-on assault, though, of course. I mean, doing it on its own is perhaps not the wisest to do either. There we go, pulls away. Stukas Fuß joining in again. And not really much success there against the IC-152. Tiger already down to half health. And Button up there making easier target. I2's marching ahead. Still though with focus you might consider, and there we go. Strike and abandoned. The King Tiger has been abandoned. Of all the things. King Tiger has been abandoned. And the Russians are making off with it. Grand Theft Panzer. Look here, what I saw. I shall name it Borscht. Why that? I like it. Hello to VonIvan here. They almost got undead. No, he got shot down and he took out the King Tiger. The Sturmovik meant to mark the King Tiger. Knocked it out after it had been taken by the Russians. Oh, the irony. Oh, this is definitely a rare occurrence. Oh dear. I cannot imagine. This is definitely not a usual kind of fight there. Guards seem to be fighting on. That's 35 kills by the way. 35 kills. All done there with 33. Looks like the ISU-152s might take away that kill count. Bombing sites going on. MD-34 moving ahead on his own. Barely anything left here. VonIvan is got a few squads left. Need to get those Obersoldaten away. Schnell. Zurückfallen. And there you go. Tot.
We've lost a squad of infantry.
MD-34, they're fighting on its own versus the T-34 with a wrecked engine and a wrecked gun. Well, that's also a rare occurrence. But the Germans still fighting on, surprisingly enough. VonIvan though could, in theory, I suppose, get another Yak Tiger. In theory, that is, but I mean, they'd still need another 90 fuel, and at this rate, it's going to take a long time. Looks like he's just spamming fault gunners. T-34 went down there. Veterans, if I fight me, they just decimate the Gas infantrymen. You got some half tracks. Still no sign of a Sturmoffizier though. More Rakettenwerfers, MD-42s, Panzerstrikes are lying across all the place. No one's picking that up. Going to speed this up a bit.
Under attack! An anti-tank battery is ready for deployment.
Well, there you go. VonIvan picks up whatever's left and forms an army around that, while also scavenging whatever he can for fuel. Not a bad idea. Could also scavenge the T-34s here for further fuel.
Infantry group are lost.
More infantry is getting quickly lost here. And popping a Siberian here, who's got even less left. He's just spamming like Kettenwerfers, while his one veteran 5 mega squad is doing everything they can. It looks like the Russians are just going on the defensive. It looks like they're still a bit worried about whatever VonIvan and Siberian might pull, since otherwise they'd probably just pushing in and removing the remainders of their force if they knew what was actually going on, but they must still be feeling pretty timid about things. Though of course with all some of this must be Afrikaans, they really just need to go in and get rid of the rest. Looks like there's a bit of a chance there maybe of getting back. With another Yak Tiger, even that might be a bit much. A Puma's a choice here. And there we go. Aircraft crashing down. The battlefield's an utter mess at the moment. Satchel charge. And there you go, got a Luftwaffe assault going in. Quickly inserting some Fallschirmjäger straight into this mess. We got the Puma arriving. Still got those howitzers.
Armor car ready for action. Taking fire. 100 points remain.
Puma moving in here in a desperate attempt to get the IC-152 over there. Takes a hit and looks like Siberian's already given up and he's not even bothering to try and outflank. There's another T-34 and there you go. Puma completely annihilated. That had a very short lifespan. An air assault that looks like a bombing run. And yes indeed. More grievous casualties inflicted. Okay, now moving in. And moved on to the next life. Points taken down. There's not really many options left here for the Germans. VonIvan seems very intent on getting that Jagdtiger. Now just needs the manpower, and that's a minute or so away off. I'm still surprised at how passive Fahu seems all of a sudden. I mean, he could be doing a lot more damage. In fact, both Russian players could easily be doing a lot more damage to the Germans. I mean, they could probably be crushing the base right now if they just consolidated the ICUs into one force, moved down, and just began hammering away. Fahu keeps up the run of T-34s. More artillery. VonIvan's barely got anything left, that much is clear. Everything's just being pulverized under very intense Soviet fire. By this stage it's pretty much a slaughter. There you go, we got another Yak-2 arriving here, but not really in time. And there we go, game over. Figure I might also get 1-2 in. I think had something interesting. In this case, you know, King Tai getting knocked out by Sturmwick crashing down after the Russians had taken it. But otherwise, I mean, it was a quite nice display here, sort of seeing how the Russians are sort of adapting to the German metagame, or at least the Oberkommando West metagame, and sort of striking it down pretty hard. Because I mean, sure, the Kulwangs initially did a lot of damage, but then the M3A1s came in and pretty much ruined it, and then sort of a bit of stabilization, but again, then came the next stage, the artillery, all the tanks, the RC-152s, and again the Germans, because they were playing for the really big guns, were rather vulnerable in that stage, so when the big guns really came, there was not really much to support it. The Yak-2 was quickly knocked out in short order, even more so with the King Tiger. There was really not much to support it or cover it at all. So, I mean, that was also really a bit the problem here for the Germans, for Siberian and VonIvan. There's nothing sort of really interconnecting everything. It was just a bit too much, you know, either Kugelwagen rush, then sort of desperately holding on for the big guns. There was no in-between, really, except maybe a Stukas of Fus. There was no Pumas, no Flak half-tracks, no Panthers, or anything. And overall, their doctrine uses were also a bit limited, though not too much either. I definitely think... I mean, the overall watch probably the one that makes most use of commanders of the two, though I definitely think could benefit from a Sturm officer. And a part of me really think they might have been better off just skipping the Jagdtiger, instead going for Panthers and Sturm Tigers. The Sturm Tigers getting out any sort of strong positions while the Panthers dealt with the armour. So I mean, that might be something to consider there, at the very least. At least it's a small thought there. I mean, the Russians, I mean, to some extent it was a bit, I think, they could easily have wiped them out after that one great engagement versus the Jagdtiger and the King Tiger. For some reason they held back. I mean, that was a bit needless. They could probably finish this match much sooner. So, I mean, there's that. But the Russians, good use of their commanders, good use of bombing strikes, artillery. Guardians, certainly were well used by them. And other things, the marked vehicles, the ISUs, and so also nice use of the T-34s. Though again, there might have been a bit more aggression needed early on, which could again also shorten the fight a bit. But overall, some nice plays there by the Russians. Nice play. In that regard, strategically outplayed their opponents and gave them a good bashing. And so we note damage here. For some reason, two of the players have stopped noting in, but still a lot of damage done there and a lot of kills. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed this match. I hope you learned something from it. If you did, want to subscribe to your friends, share it with everyone. If not, send in a replay and provide some feedback in the comments. This is Imperial Danger, cheers, and thank you all for watching.